Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tamika. Welcome back. I am so excited to be sharing my mid-month April wrap-up with you all. Don't you wanna have fun? Fool around someone. I have been doing so much reading, and before I get into the video, I want to show you all something that I just got because I love it. It's my Taboo Book Club merch, which if y'all didn't know, I host the Taboo Book Club, which is a book club where we read taboo romance books, and this is what this design looks like. It has a rib cage, the other one has a hand, but it's just got the font. It says not for the faint of heart at the bottom, which you can't see, it's right there, but yeah, it's at the bottom of the shirt. I just wanted to show you because I've not formally announced it anywhere. So there's been a lot of reading happening. Am I behind on my 30 and 30? Yes, but I'm gonna catch up pretty quickly, I believe, because I'm not that far behind. And then I've actually managed to read quite a few romances already this month. Only 2 of them are for the Dark Romance Readathon, so I don't have a ton that I'm going to be spoiling for that vlog if you've not watched it yet, which you should see this after the Dark Romance Readathon. I just filmed this, you know, in the middle of it because it's when I had time to film. So I'm going to start with the romances and then we'll move into the manga. There are a couple other books that I am nearly done with, but I put them on pause because of the Dark Romance Readathon. So I just kind of like, I'm just pausing those. Those will be in my April wrap up at the end of the month. So yeah, we have a good little list going already. I'm really excited to share them with you all, and let's hop on into it. So first of all, we have A Throne of Ruin and A Kingdom of Ruin. These are the next 2 books after Rose of Ruin. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, essentially following a bunch of shifters and a shifter kingdom, as well as demons and whatnot like that. So let me kind of give you the briefest synopsis as I can without spoiling the entirety of the series. So in the first book, we are following our heroine, who is a common girl who is trying to save the kingdom and save the people within the kingdom because there is a curse put on it by the Demon King in order to keep the kingdom at bay and to suppress their shifting abilities. We have a kingdom of shifters and they are not able to shift because the king made a deal with the Demon King, and then the king dies and our prince is left to break the curse. The curse is he has to find his one true mate and claim that one true mate as his, and in order to break the curse, he eventually will have to either tell the Demon King to just, you know, take his life so that he can like end the curse, or he has to find his true mate, or he can kill the king and the Demon King, and then he will in turn, he will die, and it will again, the curse is sealed, and like everyone's essentially fucked. This is a really interesting series. I really love our heroine. She's such a badass and she's just top tier heroine. I love her so much. Her and her animal are like the most adorable combination because not many of the people can feel their animals within them, and she is one that can feel her animal. She is so sassy and quirky and I just absolutely love her. The animal is so freaking sassy and she's just like, I'm gonna do what I want. You make me not do it. I dare you. And she's just like, can you please just calm down because we're just trying to like survive here. Like you can't mate with the king, you know? I don't care what you say. I want that dragon. It is really cute. I love this series. It is so good. It is a fantasy romance and it is just everything I want in a fantasy romance. It has just enough of the simplified world, that way I can get invested. Like there's enough of the real world there so that I would enjoy it. So if you're like a low fantasy kind of reader, this is really good for you. This has shifters, which is a really interesting concept in a fantasy because I really haven't seen shifters in a fantasy. I've seen them in urban fiction and, you know, some of the paranormal, but I've not really seen them in fantasy that much. Maybe I'm just not reading the right fantasies, which y'all know I don't really read a lot of fantasies. So this is fantastic though. I read the next 2 books in the series. The next book comes out the end of April, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm definitely going to be reading it as soon as it comes out because it's fantastic and I love the series a lot. So I also finished Third Comes Vengeance, which is the 3rd book and the final book in the, I think the Promised in Blood series, whatever that series is by Lil Fence that I don't shut up about. I read the 3rd book finally. I have thoughts that are not anticipated. If this book, you could take it and you take the book and put it in 3 parts. The first third, the second third, and the last third. Take the first third and the last third and put those together and cut that entire middle part out where it's just breeding kink, 5 stars. However, because we read about 35–40% of the book is breeding kink, 3.5. It was pointless. There was absolutely no reason for us to have that much breeding kink. No point at all. I would have rather had the breeding kink spread out throughout all 3 books instead of just in the one, because just in the one doesn't make sense. Like, I understand why it happens in the last one and why they're all of a sudden so gung-ho about getting her pregnant. My issue was I didn't care. We were reading so much breeding kink that my brain was just like, I literally could give less of a shit about you all getting her pregnant. Could care less. I was skimming the sex scenes, skimming until I got to the parts where I was interested in, which just took out that entire middle part of it. So that's my takeaway. I love Lilith Vincent. This is still one of my favorite series, but that breeding kink was not good. It's not that it wasn't good. It was just too much. It was just boring. If you don't love breeding kink, you're not gonna love this entire book. And I'm saying that as someone who loves Lilith, and I stand by it. Then I read Dusk, which is the first book in another series by Alethea Roming. I actually think I wasn't supposed to read this book, and I did it anyway. I think that this book actually is taking place after another series. Now, I could be wrong. This is just my assumption. But I was very confused throughout it. Let me kind of give you a rundown, and then you'll know why I was confused. Essentially, we have the Sparrow group, which is a group of criminal people, and then we have their wives. 2 of the wives were taken and put like somewhere else. Like, they were taken hostage and they were kidnapped, and the entire book we're following the characters trying to get them back. The entire time I was a little confused, and I think that if I'm thinking correctly, there's another series that needs to go along with this so that, like, I'm not completely confused on everything going on. Don't get me wrong, very gripping, very entertaining, very interesting characters. Loved the idea and the storyline. I'm just very positive I'm confused because there's another series, and we're gonna find out together, because it just read like there was something I was missing, you know? So I mean I could be wrong, but I really don't think that I am. And like, I didn't do any research before going into this. I just saw it on my Audible. And I was like, oh, I got this from Izzy. I need to read it. Let's see what it is. It's a dark romance. I know Alethea Roming writes dark romance. Okay, well, I don't really know if this is or not, because it just says that it's book 1 in the Dangerous Web trilogy. And I don't know if that means that there's another part. I don't know, but I'm gonna keep reading it. It just felt like it was a little... there were pieces missing. Again, that could just be me, but I don't really know for sure. Then I read Maybe Next Time. This is by Christina C. Jones. This is a criminal type of story. It is a second chance marriage in trouble. It is essentially about our heroine who wants to file for divorce and is trying to file for divorce. And her husband is just like, I'm not letting you go. Sorry about it. And she's like, what do you mean sorry about it? Like, I want a divorce. And he's like, you're not getting a divorce. Heavy triggers in here for a miscarriage, because there is a miscarriage that is talked about, because one of the characters does go through that. And I want to put that out there before anyone goes into this reading it and doesn't, you know, anticipate that going into it. This does have triggers for miscarriage if you're sensitive to that. This is essentially following these two as the hero tries his damnedest to get his wife back and to make her not divorce him. And they're just really sweet, and I love that the hero was so possessive over her. He was touch her and you die. There's a scene in here where her assistant is too close to her, so he freaks out and he's like holding a gun to his head. If that's not touch her and you die vibes, I don't know what is. I give this one a 3.75, and the only reason that I rated it a little bit lower is because I wanted more from these characters, and I wanted to see more of them in the book. Like, I wanted more storyline, and I didn't get the storyline I wanted, like, as much as I wanted. So that was the only reason I knocked it down a little bit. other than that, it was fantastic. It was a really good time, and I am going to continue the series. So those are all the romances that I read. Let's talk about the manga. All right, so I'm going to talk about the manga that I did in a reading vlog really quickly, because you can go to my reading vlog to see all my full thoughts. But essentially, I gave my little sister permission to pick out 5 manga for me to buy, and I would read them and share my thoughts with you all. I did upload that vlog. It is posted on my channel. It is a collab with Izzy from Happy For Now. My sister also picked her manga, and I will go through them kind of quickly about, you know, just how I felt about them, and for more detailed thoughts, you can go to that reading vlog. So first of all, we have Strawberry Fields once again. This is a sapphic Yuri manga, which is no surprise. I absolutely love sapphic and Yuri manga, which same thing. I don't know why I said sapphic and Yuri. I love sapphic, girl love Yuri manga. It is one of my favorite things. I absolutely adore seeing 2 women fall in love. I think that that is pretty evident by now. But this one is really cute. It has time travel. Essentially, we have 2 characters who are getting married, and one of them goes back in time in order to meet her future wife, but her wife when she's like 17 years old, and that way they are able to fall in love at in high school and have that extended relationship. Then I read Parasite Volume 1. This is about a parasite that drops into the human world, into our atmosphere, and then starts taking over people's brains. They will like drive into your brain, eat your brain, and then they mature and take over your body and start eating other humans. Then we have Toilet Bound Hanakon, which is another manga that I was very excited to try. This one is about a person who is cursed to a toilet, and if you summon them, they will grant you a wish. It's about a girl who goes into the bathroom to summon this supernatural, and them granting her a wish. So next up, I have Highrise Invasions Volume 1 and 2. This one is another series that was recommended by my sister. This is all stuff you can go see in this reading vlog. But this one specifically is following a girl who is transported into another world, kind of like the Matrix. And she is entered into the world, and her goal is to get out of this Matrix-like world, and there's these masked people who are killing people. Essentially, their goal is either to kill you or have you commit suicide by jumping off of the high skyrise. So these skyscrapers, you cannot get down. You have to go across bridges in order to escape and get on the helicopter and get out of the world. Then I have Stitch and the Samurai, which is... it's literally Stitch and a samurai, and his goal is to get Stitch to pet him because he's cute, and he's trying to earn Stitch's trust. I'm giving you no other context. This is adorable. I love it. 10 out of 10. Favorite manga of all time. Just go read it. It's so cute. If you like cute things, this is it. So then I have Volume 2 of My Dress Up Darling. This is essentially a girl and a guy. One of them makes clothes for dolls, and the other one is a cosplayer, and she asked him to make her cosplay outfits. I will say this one is a little weird because they're in high school, and this definitely accentuates on her body. So if that makes you uncomfortable, know that going in. I age her up in order to be able to read this because it is really cute. Like, their romance is really cute. It is like very sweet and wholesome, I would say. And I just really love that she is a cosplayer and she likes to cosplay. I think it's adorable. Then I read Volume 1 of 10 Count, which is a series I'm absolutely planning on continuing. I really loved this first volume. This is about a boy who has OCD, and he really struggles with not wanting to compulsively wash his hands, and you know, all the things that people with OCD struggle with. And this is him having a relationship with a person who is a psychiatrist, and the exchange that they have is he will be his friend, and the other one will help him work through his OCD, and they end up having a romantic relationship. So yeah, if this is something that kind of like borders on taboo for you and you're not really loving the idea, maybe steer clear. If you're into taboo romances, this is something I would recommend, because I genuinely really enjoy the storyline, and I really love where these characters are going. This is something that I would say that if you're curious and it sounds interesting to you, try it out. This is a BL, so this is eventually going to be kind of explicit, so just know that going in as well. Then the last 2 books that I want to talk about are Something's Wrong With Us Volume 1 and 2. That's as far as I've gotten in the series so far. I do have 2 more volumes I'm hoping to read through the rest of the month, but this is essentially about a girl who ends up marrying or gets in a situation where she is going to marry the man who accused her mother of murdering his father. I really don't want to tell you anything else. This is a darker story. This is definitely more romantic suspense. It's going to really cater to those who read thrillers and those who also read darker romances. This is definitely a very interesting story, and I am hooked. I'm interested. I want to know what's going to happen. I'm not at the point where this is a new favorite yet, and I'm sure that once I get to like volume 4 or 5, I'm probably going to feel that way, because I think Izzy said it takes a little bit longer to get really invested, but I'm excited to see where it goes regardless, and I'm ready for the ride that it's going to take me on. So those are all the books that I read in the first half of April. Let me know what your favorite book you've read in April so far is. If you're still here, leave me a cow emoji down in the comments, and I will chat with you in my next one. Bye everyone.
Don't you wanna have fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Yeah, his baby said that they don't got a future like